Do you know what? I think we can have a bit of a break from yellow because today we're going to tackle some hawthorn. The last time you saw this hawthorn was, well, it was a year ago when I whacked the wire on and said I wanted to grow these branches right out and I wasn't going to prune it. Well, you can see I didn't prune it. Not only are we going to deal with this, which is basically the post-flush hardened pruning, removal of wire, we're also going to be visiting a very special friend who featured and told of his life over 50 years of bonsai. That's right, we're popping in to see Joe and have a look at his scarlet hawthorn. Anyway, if you want to see more of that, keep watching. Hi, it's Xavier and welcome to my bonsai retreat, and fairly straightforward today. We're going to be doing the ongoing development work of this hawthorn stump, which I picked up from the Doncaster Boot Fair, gosh, probably 3 or 4 years ago, before it became the Newark Bonsai Fest. And yeah, we're able to give it a bit of a spin. As you can see, it's quite a meaty old stump and lots of challenges. The real biggest challenge here, and I asked it in the last video, look at these hands, they're going everywhere, is what do I want to achieve? I want to achieve health and vigor, which I've definitely got that. But my major priority was to develop thicker, lower branches and just keep in control of the top. Well, I think I lost control of the top. And there's a big problem with that because whether it be hawthorns, maples, tridents, in fact, any of your deciduous, in fact, any of your trees, if you allow all the energy to be going at the top and those shoots to extend, then the obvious result of that is going to be the stuff that you need thicker and bigger is going to get weaker. Trees want to grow up. And unfortunately, we need to be cutting that back right now. We could develop that in a couple of years' time when what's down there has got bigger and more defined. And in fact, to better see what I'm talking about and which branches I really want to grow, let's just get rid of these upward growing stuff. Same thing, we don't want anything that's going upwards. And this set here is a lower branch. This is going to be potentially the lowest branch, but part of me thinks that actually this may even be removed. It could be that it's far too low. But for now, not entirely sure, we'll keep it. This stuff we want to continue to grow out. This here is another of the bigger, thicker branches. It's the lowest branch on this side. In terms of proportion, this branch has to be the thickest. Then moving up, we expect these ones, this one here, to be still substantial, but definitely smaller than that one. And that balance is done by basically how far you prune it back, how much you control the growing tips. Everything on this lower branch, I'm going to be leave to run, apart from anything that's going in the wrong direction or is going to cause adverse swelling. I'm going to bring this one back a little bit, and the top I'm going to prune right back to just a few buds. Before I do that, there's a big wire that's been on here, believe it or not, for 12 months. Now, this is definitely not a video about wire removal. As you can see, you've got two options. You can either cut it, or where you think you want to be able to reuse it, which in this case I do, smaller gauge wire. I will use pliers and very carefully just twist it off. I've got probably the entire tree to unwire, and as I said, I don't really think you need to see this. So we'll come back when all the wire's off, shall we? Now, the good thing about this sort of job is it's also an ideal time to be just looking at every aspect of the tree, the leaves. There's some browning there. See if you've got anything that may be concern or fungal issues, anything like that. And I say, you know what, wiring's boring, removing it, but it's a great time to just have a look and see what is the health of your tree like. Believe it or not, 40 minutes later, and I've managed to get all the wire off. Strained most of it. The really smaller pieces I didn't bother with. So that'll get reused, probably to rewire this at a later stage. All I'm going to do now is I'm not concentrating on any branches that are coming outwards, but on everything where there's an easy, they're either pointing backwards like this one here. So I can basically do what I call easy wins, so that I can then get a better, clear idea of where the actual structure is. Branch here is going along pretty horizontal, but at the back here we've got stuff that's going up. Never in a million years going to be part of the design, so we can remove those, allowing us to see a good clear pad there. Okay, well, I pretty well cleared all the upward stuff. All I'm going to do now is get rid of all those shoots that are on the actual trunk of itself, on the trunk of the tree, the stuff that's coming from the base. And again, it's just cleaning up so that when I actually make decisions, I can see what is and isn't part of this final design. Nice trunk. I do like the trunk on this. Really, really, really like it. So the next thing is reducing all our 3s and 4s junctions to just 2. This does come down to perspective. Generally, I'll be looking for stuff that's going to move in an angle that's probably between 30 and 40 degrees, if I can get it. Certainly anything that's right angles, I'll remove those unless it's something that I might be able to wire later in the year. But in the end, I'm going to decide which 2 I want to keep. Straight away, following this trunk here, we've got this bit of growth here, and then behind it, just here, we've got this here. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to clean this up a lot more. That's still need to heal a little better. I may just nibble that just a little bit more to help that along. And I've found that hawthorn, they're quite a rough species, but they'll heal over pretty well. If you're worried at all, then you can just put some cut paste on that wound. Got another example in here. We've got this branch and this one coming right beside it. So I'll take the one that's at the back, remove that, leaving that as the upwards. Sometimes I like to just take the upper leaves off. And again, I'll often look to clean up across the tops of all these main branches. So I've got 1, 2, got an upward one here, get rid of that. Upward one here, get rid of that. And then I just need to do exactly the same thing, sorting out the 2s and 3s up here, deciding how far often to pull stuff back. But I'll neaten all that up, and then we'll do the final bit, which is keeping the outwards long, reducing the top. Okay, well, I've done most of the cleaning up on this. It probably looks exactly the same, and really I've got to make that big decision. And the first of them is I want to get rid of this branch here, open up that front more, and I am really strongly debating about taking these ones off. It's either that or I remove that. Now, I'm not using any of these for thickening the trunk, so I am looking purely where are my next branches going to be. Just maybe. Let's have a look at that. Having a good look at it, and I don't know about you, this is going to be a 50-50 call, I think. But for the sake of the development of this, I've noticed that this branch was always thicker than what's going on below here. And I like that gap, so I'm going to go for it. And yeah, it's losing a lot of growth. But you know what? Bonsai is all about decisions. Wow. I think that will work out. All I need to do is I need to make sure that this growing tip here is allowed to continue to grow out. What I am going to do is just bring some of these ones right back in. Put that right back in. I definitely want this to continue to grow out. I don't want side branches to be providing any competition for it, so I am happy to take those right back. The only thing I think is this one just needs to be wired a little bit more that way. Looking on this side, I still want this to grow out more. 1, 2, there's actually pretty well 3 coming from the same point. That is thicker than these 2 here. Ooh dear, not sure. Trying to decide which one to remove is actually easy, but it reveals there's going to be a bigger problem trying to create backfill and new branches. Long way to go. I'm looking at it and I'm going, I certainly can't take the middle one because that'll leave bigger than 90 degrees. So I either leave these 2, take the back one off, or I leave these 2, take the front one off. My rationale for keeping the front 2, apart from the fact I like the development of this, is the back one has actually got quite a straight course growth. So I'm going to take it off. Now, as this one's going to have to wired across, I can also wire this one to try and create a little bit more of the pad width or the basic structure on the primary branch that I want. And apex, believe it or not, it's going to be really dead easy. Everything is coming back to about that high, I think. See, I'll put the wire on there, I'll put a bit of wire on here. Look, this has got a lot to grow. Not worried about this, early stages still. Main thing is I've got them going in a flat plane. I've got the nice angle that I want from the top. Shoots not being cut. All I've done is anything from the side or upwards I've removed. I want those to go out. Again here, the same as I've said, this one will continue to shoot out and I leave the wire there. This one up here, it relates to this stump here. Now I am going to be doing work later in the year to carve that back. I actually want this to be a little bit thicker and stronger, ready for that carving. So I'm going to let this one grow out a lot longer. I want this branch here to be thicker. I want this one to match the thickness of this one. So this one has been cut back. I want this one to catch up. Only way it's going to catch up, let it grow. And actually, while we're up here, there's this monstrosity here, very pencil straight, definitely not very nice. I'm just waiting for the right buds to come somewhere here and here so that I can get just something to cover just how straight that is. Otherwise, I may actually have to make the decision to completely and utterly remove that. But that certainly isn't something I need to consider now. But for those of you who are already looking at going, Zav, what about that? It's in my mind. Oh, hang on. Hello? Oh, hiya, Joe. You're joking. Right, give me 35 minutes. I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. Do you want to see an air layer of a hawthorn? Do you want to see how Joe Garland's collection is getting on? Let's go, shall we? Just the other side of Nottingham. Do you know what? I've done it. I've just left that hawthorn on the bench. I thought, Joe's called me. I'm coming over. It's always a pleasure to see him. Joe, thank you so much for bringing me back to your...
You're welcome anytime.
Your incredible residence. We're sitting here in these nice wicker chairs that you've bought. And tell me, have you given me a wet backside?
Yes.
Yes, because...
And me as well, the seats were wet.
Believe it or not, after 30 or 40 degrees or whatever, we had, I don't know, a bit of water there. That's now down my backside. But you know what? Bonsai's all about that. So
yeah, we had last night we had a big thunderstorm.
I noticed this juniper here. How long have you actually had the juniper for?
I've been here 8 years. We're talking around nearly 20 years.
20 years.
Only 20 years. And as I said before, we looked at it last year. It was never like that when I bought it. It was quite straggly looking, really. So it's taken that amount of time to get the fence up.
Really tight, compact growth as well. So what is your plan? I mean, I love the way this is all spread around, but what are your plans, say, for the apex? Have you got any ideas that you want to do?
I want to try and bring it down so the apex spreads a bit further and that there's separate pads. So I want to make separate pads. Do you want to know something? I've never repotted that. In 20 years, I've never repotted it. Why should I repot if it's looking like it is and it's happy with the substrate it's in? Why should I?
Well, it's fun. It's funny you say that. There's someone who was interviewing someone in the States, and he was saying that a lot of the problem happens with trees because we do this repot. And actually, I mean, the Bonsai Heirloom, there's one of them, he hasn't repotted his trees in 35 years.
It's a very well-off guy. He's got a massive estate, and he employs gardeners, and he employs some specialists for his trees. And a couple of the bonsai guys, the top bonsai guys, went to see him. And when do you repot your trees? Never. Never repotted them. And they look absolutely fantastic.
And if you think about it, in Japan, I mean, I say my children are out in Korea at the moment. In fact, there's probably some pictures of Alex and Katerina in Korea right now. Katerina got all dressed up in traditional stuff. But she said there's some big, big trees there. Massive. And let's be honest, they're not going to be things you can repot easily. So they just sit there for generations. But I suppose it's just about a bit of sun, bit of water, and they just adapt to their environment.
They're fine. Do you want to go and have a look at the main trees now?
I'd love to. For those who haven't seen the video where Joe spoke to me and told me 50 years within bonsai, that's the video up there. It is well worth looking at, and there's a Japanese maple that has that really interesting trunk that's been hollowed out. Yeah. That I'd love to see again. Okay, well, with the sunshine absolutely blaring down, please, Joe, show me what's new in the garden. Because for those who haven't seen it, by the way, he's converted quite a large area of the garden, and there's loads and loads of trees. But in fact, what are you working on here?
This is one of those which I did 2 years ago. It was the only twin trunk of those. I've just been cutting the back of it.
You know that I like larch. Have you got any larch then?
I love larch. Yeah. This I got off Harry Harrington.
Oh, wow.
I challenged him to, he got it from Wales.
Yes.
And I challenged him to make a tree out of it.
Ooh.
And he's done a pretty good job.
I got, in fact, a lot of my, the dig trees I got from Wales in 2015. But the trunk's about half the size of that.
Yeah.
That's lovely. And it's so beautiful having it in front of the house.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be bonsai, does it? What is this? Looks like a rose.
That's been here ever since Richard's been here. That was before he came.
And I do want to talk to you about hawthorn because I can't get mine to flower.
Well, it's in the lap of the gods, really.
What is hang on, that's a Chinese...
Chaste.
Chinese chaste. I've never heard of that.
I hadn't either.
Look at that.
I put it in a new pot. It was in a plastic pot. Those two are little nesters.
Yeah.
This one has beautiful flowers.
I like the old leaning one here, though.
Yeah, I love that one, yeah.
Look at the pot on this one.
There's the other one, look. There's the Vitex Nagondo there. That one, obviously, lended itself to being upright.
Ah, hawthorn. So does this one...
never flowered.
Never flowered. So do you think are there types of hawthorn that don't flower?
Yes, there are, yeah.
So I could just have a...
You could, yeah. There's a lot of few trees, that will flower or they won't. It's in the lap of the gods, I think.
Because I've had advice from someone else who's been doing bonsai since, well, I think before the Ark. So, and that'd be Derek. But he said just prune it as soon as the flowers drop, prune it like you might with any flowering thing, and the following year it'll come back. But I've never had mine flower.
Yeah. The one down there flowered this year for the first time.
But I'll tell you what, you can guarantee you're going to get flowers from your pyrocanthus.
Yep.
Again, I love that you've got so many interesting pots. All of them are different. Yeah. And it can sometimes take what could sometimes be an ordinary tree and turn it into an absolute eye-catcher.
Yeah.
Love the colours on the pot there. I can see in the centre there's a big hawthorn. Is that a...
Paul Scarlet.
Paul Scarlet. So does that one flower?
Oh, blimey, does it flower, yeah. That was the one I was suggesting we may make another tree out of it, but I don't know.
I bought some stuff.
Yeah, but don't get him off there.
So what, you were looking at putting an air layer there?
Yeah. Perfect. It makes a lovely little tree.
Well, we could do that.
You haven't got time for doing that now.
Take 5 minutes at the end. We can have if you want me to.
Yeah.
What I see about that is that because it's still quite young up there, and then you've because it's quite a slender trunk as it is.
It is, yeah.
Just about to talk to you about something else, and then one of your trees catches my eye, and I've just looked across there at the privet. And again, you love using the figures and stuff in there. I know some people hate figures, but I just think it gives them realism and life.
Yeah, this left side is looking a bit worse than where it seems to be coming back a bit. This side is fine, but that side seems to be, it's all from this trunk here. So we'll have to wait and see. It's such an old tree. You know, you don't have to be a specialist to know how old it is.
That's that trunk is just, well, as some of the people say, it tells a story.
Yeah. I like trees that tell stories. I like trees that look as if they've gone through a rough life.
Yeah, and there's a few people who say a lot of the trees in my garden have gone through a rough life.
Yeah. And it's hollow. And there's the big one.
One down, okay.
That was the first tree I bought off Harry Harrington. I don't know, it must be over 20 years ago, probably more. It doesn't get much attention from me because of where it is. I have to get Richard to lift it up and put it on the deck table for me so I can work on it.
As you get older, and it's not trying to be condescending, some of the troubles you must have trying to continue doing bonsai, yet you still seem to be out here. Every time you leave me a message, you're like, oh, I've just been out pottering with this or that.
Yeah.
But lifting some of those...
Out here, you know, I do. I hate staying indoors when I can't be out here looking at the trees and working on them.
So really, it's probably encouraging. I still get lots of people who say, oh, I'm now 83. I'm too old to start this hobby. And I say, no, do it.
Do it, yeah, do it.
About the only thing that I find starts getting in as you get older is arthritis, but for sort of keeping the mental capacity going and also keeping you interested, I think you're certainly showing that for sure.
And it's over 100 years old.
100 years old. That's a Sabina, isn't it?
Sabina, yeah.
I know there was someone who actually asked a question about Sabina of Yella, and he was saying he really, really wanted to back bud. And Yella was saying they're really frustrating because they'll put out growth and then they'll drop the branches and you're starting again constantly.
It's done that over time. You know, I'm rebuilding the foliage back.
But you've got a nice thick foliage pad there.
Yeah,
so, yeah. Again, some people might say, oh, yeah, but there's this right angle bend. And I think, how do you feel? Some people, I think, get so technical about things, they forget that it's about how it actually looks, how impressive it looks.
Yeah. Well, that's how it grew on the mountain, so...
Well, no, it couldn't have, because it wouldn't do that in nature.
Yes, it would.
Exactly.
Graveyard tree.
Graveyard tree?
Yeah, every Victorian graveyard had a yew.
Did it?
In their cemeteries.
Is there a reason for that, or...?
No. It hasn't, so no, it won't.
It's beautiful. I've got, I think I said to you last time, I'd love to have a bigger yew, but all I've got are the smaller ones I'm developing. They take so long to grow. I've just shown you now. What do you think of the pyracantha? I've got it on its angle there.
You've done a lot with it, I'll tell you that now.
It's
compared to what it was.
Brilliant with the flowers. But more important than that, I notice you're standing beside something there, and it's something I desperately want. It doesn't mean I want that one, but that's a
blackthorn.
Blackthorn. And I remember last time we talked about this, and I'm sure it's looking... have you actually done much with this in the last 18 months, or
no,
just allowed it to grow?
I've taken all the wire off it, and there's a couple of trotting branches that need to be sorted out, and it doesn't need wiring again yet. One of the important things is with a bonsai is to turn it, keep turning them, don't leave them up against the wall or whatever, because they'll die. The front, back will die, and the front will grow, so you need to turn them.
I find out Joe's just disappeared from me. I think he's jealous because of what I've done to that pyracantha of his. But we are going to have a look, and I am going to put an air layer on that hawthorn. And he's looking, what's he? I'm not going to come back with another tree, am I?
Can you do something with these?
Can I do something with these? Do you know what? That's going to be a challenge, because if anyone knows my channel, I don't do a lot of stuff with, are they spruces?
They're Norway spruce. Yeah.
Norway spruce. And
you can have them if you want. So you don't have to take them, of course.
oh,
Some
well,
dead stuff here as well.
I'll take that on.
Well,
I think you only showed me those because you actually wanted to show me your plum, didn't you? Because I've just noticed this again. I know this has been in your garden for a while, hasn't it? But look at that. Did that have flowers earlier in the year?
Yes, it was covered in the plum.
Yeah.
It was covered in them. There's so many branches have broken off on this, but they seem to be rescuing themselves. New branches, yeah, there's new branch there, because that one died off. It fell out off the stand, and a couple of branches were broken. Yeah, so it recovered.
Shall we have a look at that then and see if we whack an air layer on that? There, just so to it in that bit there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And make a nice little extra tree.
Yeah, because you need more trees, don't you?
Yeah, I need a lot more.
Tea towel, always good having a tea towel. Right.
I've got plenty of cloths. You got your moss?
Yes. Still got some moss.
Wet?
Should be damp. What do you think?
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine. I think one of the things that often people get wrong, and I got it wrong originally with air layers, is you have it sopping wet,
yeah.
and all it does is stops any new roots actually forming.
Yeah.
Adam of Adam of Notion Bonsai.
Yeah. I keep meaning to order some stuff.
Yeah, this stuff. It's all my air layers have worked absolutely perfectly with him, with his stuff. I've got this great big piece of plastic which.
They're all disinfected.
That's all right. Probably get more. So remind me
of it. Easy because it's in an awkward spot, isn't it?
It's quite a. Here we go.
Eyes down for a full house.
I'm sure Richard would be very unhappy if I end up air layering your fingers as well. The thing I always find with air layers is you've got to be willing for it to fail.
Yeah.
Not willing. You've got to be ready for it, because I mean, I've been quite fortunate in the end. Out of probably
you've done quite a few.
10,
successful.
11 air layers, no more, 12 air layers in the last 2 years. I've only had one that failed, and it was actually on an olive. The biggest issue is the top cut is the important one.
Yes, because that's where the roots come from.
Isn't it? Everything's always more awkward when you do it with someone else.
Of course, nothing is straightforward.
A few minutes later.
Have you got some tin foil?
I got some.
Aluminium foil or
I can guess
baking foil? Yeah, just because I tend to cover that so they don't get mildew on them.
Okay.
I'm not being funny. Now that Joe's just gone in to get some aluminium foil, that's probably the most nervous air layer I've done in my life. Seems to be working out fine, but yeah, that's probably the answer why I don't like doing stuff for other people, because if it goes wrong.
Tin foil, sir.
That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank me in 3.5 months, hopefully.
So, anything I need to do, just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone. I mean, if we get really hot days, my biggest problem is I used to water my air layers all the time and they just rot. So long that hasn't dried right out. I mean, I normally once a month, I'll pull the foil away, just have a look and a squeeze. And normally it's still wet and that, and then I'll look at it 6 to 7 weeks to see if there's any sign of any roots at all. But I normally take my air layers off in mid to end September. So this is one of those occasions where this could be the last time we ever speak.
No, if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter.
There we go. So you promised, Joe, that if that doesn't work out, you're still going to let me come back and see you again, aren't you?
Oh, sure. Don't worry about it.
And I noticed you got something out. You know, I had a real disaster with my wisteria.
Yeah.
So, wow.
That was in Coventry. I built all of this.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Who's in the pictures?
That's my wife. That's me.
That's not you.
It's me. It's me.
What, there's a time when you were actually young?
I was in my 50s then.
Incredible flowers. In fact, do you know there's someone who also gave me advice about hawthorns, who he's used his bin area. He's put all his bins in a covered area and then, used Wisteria, covers it.
Yeah.
That's Derek. Absolutely incredible what people do sometimes to cover the bins. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna dash off. So thanks very much for your time. And it's always great seeing you.
It's great to see you.
I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
Well, we perhaps do the same thing next year.
Definitely. Okay, safely back from Joe's, and hopefully you got to see how great that air layer was. Fingers crossed. Need you all crossing your fingers. Apart from that, isn't it great to see his collection? Over 50 years of bonsai. He's got to be one of the nicest guys I've met, certainly in the UK, and I hopefully will be visiting him each year just to keep me on my toes, because certainly his knowledge vastly beyond mine. And of course, as you can see, that apex has been cut right back, and I don't need any of this to grow that much. All the energy is going to go here. Do you know how we're going to get around that? I said to you, a bit of yellowing leaves, a little bit of iron deficiency, so I'm going to use a MaxiCrop Seaweed Plus sequestered iron mix, and I'm going to give that an absolute drenching. And I will probably feed it every couple of weeks. I want lots of strength, lots of vigor for this. And now we've only got the one piece of wire on these two branches, so the rest I can leave to grow freely. If you want to know more about the history of this tree and what happened before, that's the video you can watch. Otherwise, happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.